A woman accidentally kills the man she was cheating with. The man's blood is still flowing. Then her fiancé burst in, so that her fiancé would not find out. The woman had to use her mouth to catch the blood flowing from the corpse. Strangely enough, the corpse did not decompose after a long time, and with a sprinkling of water, the corpse's skin would return to the appearance of a living person. The woman would sleep with the corpse every day, and eventually give birth to a child. The story begins with a cartoonist named Rohan Kishibe. He has a special ability called Heaven's Door. This ability can turn a person's brain into a book, view their past experiences and memories, and write commands on it to control their minds. On that day, he and the publisher's editor were discussing the content of the comic. Rohan Kishibe also spoke of the embarrassing situation he was in. He wanted the editor to pay him in advance, because he was broke. He had no home to go back to. He is now living in a friend's house. He even sold many of his beloved handicrafts. And the reason for all this, it was because he bought 6 mountains around the resort to study manga about monsters. This also hindered the developers' plan to build a road to the resort, because after building the road, the demons will surely be scared away. But it was this action caused property prices near the resort to plummet. Now he is left with a piece of land of no value. After hearing this, the editor looked helpless, but then Rohan Kishibe said his money was well spent. He claims it was worth it because he really saw a demon, the demons of Rapasaka village. And the story begins with a girl. She was the daughter of a wealthy family in Rapasaka village named Naoko. One day her adulterous husband Gunpei was playing video games in her house. At that moment, Naoko's father and her fiancé come back. Naoko told Gunpei to leave through the back door and handed him a stack of money, saying she was done playing and wanted him to go. But Gunpei hugs her and says he hasn't had enough. Naoko was also angry. Naoko pushed him away and explained that the man outside was her fiancé, whom she would marry next year, and she wanted Gunpei to leave with the money, but Gunpei didn't move. Gunpei remained silent, and when Naoko checked on him, she saw blood flowing from the back of his head. And he didn't have a pulse. Naoko was confused. She just pushed him gently, but it just hit the queue behind him. She rushed to get a towel to stop the blood flow, but to no avail. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. Her father and fiancé were already at the door. Naoko breathed heavily. Her heart was in panic. This scene must not be seen by others. She tried to pretend she wasn't home, but her fiancé said he had just seen the figure. Naoko heard this. She got up immediately. She tried to hide Gunpei's body, but the body's blood was still flowing. By this time, her father was ready to come in with a spare key. She hurriedly said she was getting dressed. She asked him to take her fiancé to the living room for a moment. She took out a bandage to cover the wound, but to no avail. As the blood flowed, the skin on the body dried up. The fiancé at the door didn't leave either. His father gave him the key to give them a chance to be alone. Naoko became more and more frightened, shouting for him to never come in, but the fiancé was suspicious, because he did see a figure just now. Naoko had taken out a needle and thread to sew the wound, but it didn't help. At that moment, the fiancé outside also heard the commotion. He took out the key and opened the door. In the nick of time, she rolled the body over the carpet, then she carried it to the top of the cupboard. He came in and looked around, but he didn't find anything wrong, but blood was still flowing from the body. In case he found out, Naoko had to swallow it all. The fiancé didn't notice anything unusual and turned around and left. Next year, they got married as promised, but since then, Naoko never left the house, because the corpse continued to bleed 300 cc's every day. To keep her family from finding out, she had to deal with it secretly every morning. Later, when the house was remodeled, she hid the body in the attic, and she also noticed one thing: if she sprinkled water on the corpse's skin would return to its youthful appearance. It was like he was asleep. Gradually, she fell in love with the corpse. Every day, she slept with the corpse. She even gave birth to a child. And the reason Rohan Kishibe knows about this, because she had met Naoko. He had used the special power of Heaven's Door to go through her memories. Rohan Kishibe was particularly curious about this corpse. He wanted to go to the attic to see the body. But on the way, he met a little girl. She suddenly fell forward. Rohan Kishibe tried to reach out but couldn't catch her. Then he tried to help her up, only to find that the girl was already dead, and her blood was still flowing. This scene is the same as Naoko's. It was exactly the same. This girl must be the child of that man and Naoko. This scene would be misunderstood if anyone saw it. With this in mind, he summoned Heaven's Door. At that moment, he noticed that the girl's memory was rapidly disappearing. If they all disappear, she could never come back to life. He had to write in the girl's memory. She did not know Rohan Kishibe. Even if she met him, she would not be able to see him. After that, the girl woke up, looked around but could not see Rohan Kishibe in front of her. After he went through the girl's memories, he learned that the girl was the corpse and Naoko's child. They were the demons of Rapasaka village. Their happiest moment was when they died deliberately at the hands of their lovers. They don't have to work. They don't take any responsibility, using their lover's guilt to take care of themselves. After this experience, Rohan Kishibe became more determined not to sell these mountains, because there are demons here that he's been looking for. And this demon from Rapasaka village, how long has he been alive? No one knows. He lives in the weakness of human love and thought. He makes humans do anything for them, and its only purpose is to procreate. Yanmar jumped rope for 5 hours every day without interruption, and his beautiful girlfriend was tripped by a heavy object, but he didn't care. His girlfriend makes him ramen, but he refuses to eat any carbohydrates. He also took out the expensive protein recipe prepared. He tells her to buy it right away. And what's even sicker is, he stole 270,000 yen of his girlfriend's money to buy a private gym membership. He had become obsessed with fitness. His girlfriend came home with a frightened face. He was actually rock climbing at home. The money was also stolen from his girlfriend. All equipment costs 500,000 yen. His girlfriend asked him how he knew the secret of his bank card. Yanmar said the password was your ex-boyfriend's birthday, so his girlfriend got angry and told him to get out, but he jumped out the window. But when she looked down, she was shocked. Yanmar went straight to the gym after leaving home and challenged manga artist Rohan Kishibe to a running race. Both sides must reach a speed of 25 kilometers per hour. Whoever grabbed the remote control and pressed the emergency stop button at the end would win. Since the last time Yanmar lost a race, he always remembers it in his heart. He had trained himself into a devilishly muscular physique. Rohan Kishibe also sensed something different. This 21-year-old young man, his abs were so toned, his back and calves were patterned with muscles. By that time, their speed had reached 19 kilometers. At this moment Yanmar suddenly turned his body upside down. He was running in reverse. And the speed is no less than Rohan Kishibe. Just as Rohan Kishibe was shocked, Yanmar picked up a piece of gym equipment next to him and smashed the glass behind him. It seemed that whoever lost the competition would fall off the building and die. Rohan Kishibe tried to grab the remote in advance, but Yanmar broke 3 of his fingers. Rohan Kishibe used his superpower, Heaven's Door, and found out Yanmar had killed his girlfriend and all the gym members because they disturbed him while he was working out. No wonder there was no one in the gym today. By this time, their speed had reached 25 kilometers per hour. In the nick of time, Rohan Kishibe was finally a step too late. The remote was seized by Yanmar, but Rohan Kishibe wasn't panicking because he quietly used Heaven's Door at the last minute and wrote a command on Yanmar's body. Yanmar grabbed the remote control and pressed pause on Rohan Kishibe's treadmill. With the pause pressed, Yanmar was directly thrown off the treadmill and flew out.